Good evening and blessings, everybody. What's going on? It's your man, Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Look, super excited to be coming to you from our Clarksville office. As you know, Generational Wealth Builders, we have moved now to Clarksville, Tennessee. Super excited to be here. This is an emotional move for me. I'll just share just a little bit of that with you tonight as we get ready to get into our lesson, right? But 32 years ago this month, April 8th, 1994, I came to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, which is in Clarksville, Tennessee. This was my very first duty station. Again, so 30 years ago in March, I left Fort Campbell. And I've told people, because I'm very, very transparent, when I left, I was broke and I was broken, right? And so 30 years later, to be able to come back in power, I'm just super excited about what we're going to be able to do while we're here, right? So super excited. So if you're in the Clarksville area, the Hopkinsville area, even the Nashville area, we are here. We want to definitely connect with you. We are here to build. We're here to help people grow. We're still in the business of helping people save, grow, and make money. So that's what we're here. So tonight, what I'm doing, as many of you know, April is Financial Literacy Month. And again, one of the main things that I want to make sure that people understand is this. Listen, I'm not here to sell you anything. What I'm here to do is inform you on what's available. Because here's what I need you to understand. If you don't utilize the system to build wealth, you won't build wealth. You'll keep going out here buying the lotto tickets, hoping that you win. You'll never build wealth. So I want to make sure, and what our organization is completely designed to do is to help you build generational wealth. It doesn't take as much as people think to build generational wealth, but I want to make sure that each one of you understands what you can do from where you are to begin to build generational wealth. Does that make sense? So again, on tonight, what I'm talking about is the making sure that you are protected. Right? That you are properly protected. I can't tell you how many people I talk and run up on and they say, well, I got insurance on my job. Or they'll say, I got $25,000 or I got $50,000 worth of life insurance on me. And they say that with a measure of pride. But what we're going to talk about tonight is whether or not you are properly protected. That's what we're going to talk about. Are you properly protected with $25,000, $50,000, $100,000 worth of life insurance? So what I'm going to teach you tonight, something very simple. It's the model in which if you are going to understand how much life insurance you need. Again, what I tell you is I'm never going to sell you anything because I'm not a salesman. I am an educator, right? And I know some people say, oh, you're drawing straws. No. Because let me be very clear, right? I'm going to be very, very clear, very transparent. One thing about me is if you get what we have, wonderful. If you take what I say and you do absolutely nothing with it, it's still wonderful. It does not impact my family. I have done my job, which is informing you and educating you on how to protect your family. How you leave your legacy, that's a decision on you, right? So again, that's where I come from. So when I tell you I'm not a salesman, I'm not. So when people ghost me, okay, it's all good. That's why I can still speak to them in Walmart. That's why I can still speak to them in the street. Because again, I'm not emotionally connected to whether you buy from me or no. You get what I mean? So let me start off by saying that. But I do believe this. I believe that an informed people are an empowered people. And when you are informed on what's available, when you are informed on what it is that you can have, what it is that you can do, that is where you then begin to take your family to the next level, right? That's what happens. So let's get started. So tonight, the way that we help our clients understand how much life insurance you need, we use a concept that's called the DIME model. And DIME is as in D. Oh, okay, when you know it. I probably should have tried this before I got on the screen. Okay, here we go again. Let's try it again. It's the DIME model. DIME. And this acronym of DIME stands for debt. So the D stands for debt. What most people don't know and they never account for is that your creditors can lay hold to your insurance. They can get it tied up through probate. Now, I'll tell you, people get mad with the insurance company, but they never realize that it's the creditors that can tie up your life insurance in probate court. They'll basically be like, they owe me such and such amount of money, so it gets tied up in probate court. So what we try to help our clients identify is, how much debt do you have? Now, we won't know everything. And let me give you this little tidbit of information. So when we're talking about debt, we're talking about credit cards, student loans, personal vehicles, right? Because what you got to understand is, let's say your loved one dies and they had a vehicle. If you don't have enough money to pay that vehicle off, they're going to repossess that joint, right? So we want to make sure that you're not going through more trauma, right? But let me get back to probate. Them credit cards, those loans, things of that nature. If they find out that an individual has passed, what they're going to do is they're going to file a probate and get that tied to your estate. And that's going to hold everything up. And typically what happens is they'll turn around and say, okay, you owe us $40,000. Well, guess what? If your insurance policy is only $50,000, then guess what? They're going to get their 40. And they're going to hold it up until they get it. So again, I need us to understand, you have got to account for your debt. So the debt that we're looking for is credit cards, auto loans, and student loan debt. Now, here's another thing. And you don't want to be on this side, but understand this. Even your medical debt can get counted in that. Now, again, we cannot forecast medical debt. Preferably, you don't need it. Preferably, you don't. But what happens is, most times with your medical bill debt, if you got $1 million in medical bill debt, but you only got $50,000 worth of life insurance, they ain't gonna bother about you. But the credit card, them loan places, they gonna come see about you. They like, yeah, run that. I don't care what you got. Run me my bread. So that's that, right? The next concept, or the next one, is called income replacement. Now, income replacement is basically saying, so if I have a husband and a wife, and they have, both of them making $50,000 a year, they now have a budget of $100,000. So that tells me most people, if you have 50 and 50 and it's 100, that tells me that most times their budget, or the amount of money that they're living off of on that family, is somewhere between $70,000 and $90,000 a year. Does that make sense? Because people aren't saving like that now. Let's just keep it 100 now. So most times what that means is, if they're making $50,000 a year, both of them, let's just put it right in the middle. Let's say their annual money they're living off of is $80,000 a year. Well, guess what? If you take away $50,000, guess what? Now you're automatically in bankruptcy. You now automatically, because now you went from 100, where you're living off of 80, to now you have 50, and you got $80,000 worth of bills. Does that make a little bit of sense to you? Because you still got the car, you got the house, you got the light, gas, and water, groceries, all that. Little Johnny playing sports, little Susie doing whatever, right? So you need to account for that. So what you're saying with the income replacement is, you're saying, all right, my $50,000 that I normally have, if something happens to me, I'm going to give you my $50,000 for 10, 15, 20 more years. That make a little bit of sense. You're literally saying, I may be gone with you, but now you still have that $80,000. Does that make sense? You still have my income for however many years, 10, 15, 20, 5, whatever you want it to be, right? So when you're accounting for that in your life insurance plan, you want to make sure, because that money there goes directly to your family, right? That's how you make sure that your family, your household is taken care of. Come on, man. We don't want our wives to have to go out here and something happens to us and now they're out here scuffling. We should not want that. We should not want our children to be in a position where they are not taken care of, where the lifestyle that we've gotten them accustomed to living diminishes because we're not there, right? And come on, ladies, you all too. Y'all shouldn't want us to have to live a diminished lifestyle. And I know what y'all saying. Ain't no other woman finna be in here with my children. I get it. I understand. But come on, let's make sure that we're leaving something behind for our families, right? All right. The next category is M, which stands for mortgage/rent. Now, why do I say that? Some people do not have a mortgage. Some people are renters. So what the mortgage does, whatever your mortgage is, we want to make sure that gets paid off, right? We want to make sure that your forever home gets established, right? So if you have a mortgage with $300,000 today, we want to make sure that you get you enough insurance to pay that mortgage off so your family now does not have to worry about having to leave the home. Makes sense? If you are renting, then we ask the question, okay, how much would you like to leave to establish your forever home, right? Meaning, you may say, okay, we're renting right now, but I want to leave $250,000 for you to be able to go get a house, furnish it, establish our forever home. Maybe you don't want to live here. Maybe you want to move somewhere else. I'm giving you money to be able to go and get started somewhere else. That's what that is for. So again, I know some of y'all say, well, I don't have a mortgage. Yeah, but if something happens to you, when you want your family to be taken care of. So we can call this forever home money, right? You want to make sure that your family at least has a place where they don't have to move and worry about getting put out, all right? And last but not least, the E stands for education. And this is being able to make sure that if you have children under the age of 18, if something happens to you, their college is paid for. Maybe they don't go to college, right? Maybe instead of going to college, maybe they want to go into a trade. Well, guess what? You leave money behind for that education. They can go to a trade, work that a few years. Now they have money to actually go and start their own business, right? So that's what that money is for. Again, you may want to start a educational program. Maybe you're a grandparent. You say, hey, I want to leave something behind for all my grandchildren. So all my grandchildren that graduate, I want to make sure that they get $10,000 to be able to get off and do something for themselves, right? Whatever it may be, again, you're able to do that. And then, folks, all we simply do is add these numbers up, and that is your insurable need. That right there is how you understand how much life insurance that you need to make sure that your family is properly taken care of. It's not about what I want you to have, right? It's about what you need in order for your family to be properly taken care of. Now, with that being said, I will say this, right? I'm very, very strategic. I'm very, very simple. You don't have to ask which way I'm coming from. I'll tell you. So you may say, well, Rod, man, I don't want to do all that figuring and all that there. What's a simple number for me? Just give me a simple number so I ain't got to go through all that. And this is how I'll tell you, right? If you are single and you have no attachments, right? Like you're not, don't know children, none like that. You still got parents and stuff like that, but you don't have no children. It's just you and your cat or whatever the case may be. You need $500,000 worth of life insurance. And I feel you right now, $500,000, good Lord. That's a lot of money. What do I need $500,000 worth of life insurance for? Well, if you get life insurance through us, right, through one of our carriers, Nationwide, Pacific Life, AIG, Mutual of Omaha, a litany of carriers, right? They offer what's called living benefits. And if you qualify for those living benefits, what that means is, God forbid, if you're diagnosed with a critical, a chronic, or terminal illness or injury, you'll get up to 80% of that death benefit while you are still alive. So let's look at this. So you're single, you have a heart attack, you have stroke, you have cancer, you get in a bad car wreck. What you gonna do? Who's gonna take care of you? right? Let's get real now. Who's gonna take care of you? The cat not. The cat gonna leave, be like, hey, I'm out of here. Meow, meow, I'm gone, right? The cat is gone. But I'm saying all that to say, with that, let's just say you got that $500,000 worth of life insurance. Now the carrier is going to give you up to $400,000 for you to be taken care of, right? That's why we say $500,000. Now, can $400,000 go just like that? Absolutely, but it's better than having nothing, right? So that's why I say that. So for single people, no children, blah, 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 it's just you and your cat or you and your dog. It's just you, no attachments, $500,000 because of the living benefits. Now, if you're married, you don't have to have children. If you're a homeowner, if you're single with children, minimum $1 million, period, minimum. Because, again, you need to make sure that your children are taken care of. You need to make sure that those who are depending on you are taken care of and not out here trying to figure it out. Again, and additionally, with at least $1 million worth of life insurance and the living benefits, if something happens to you, you now know you got about $800,000 that's coming your way that's going to help you be able to take care of your family so you don't lose your home, so you don't get put out, so they don't come take your car and things of that nature. The insurance policy is going to kick in and make sure that you're taken care of. That makes a little bit of sense. So with that being said, that's why if you're single, no attachments, $500,000, married with children, single with children, married with a house, again, $1 million. Again, because somebody else is depending on your income. So minimum you need to have is $1 million. That's how I come up with those numbers. The last thing I'll say, and I'll be done, right? At the end of the day, folks, life insurance should work for you. And I know some of y'all like, but man, I got Jake from State Farm or whatever the case may be, or whomever it is that you have it. I got to do the job. Again, go through this dime model. If it doesn't go through this, right? If you see that you don't have enough, please now, even if it's not from me, I don't care, get some more life insurance. Let me tell you what happens. People hear this. People will say, okay, yeah, that was good what he said. I appreciate what he said. They'll say all of that, but they won't do anything. And what will happen is the person will mess around and get sick. And this is what happens all across this country. Every day it happens. What will happen is old Frank will get sick. Frank can have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, some sort of life-altering event. And when that happens, now all of a sudden, Frank is like, well, God, I can't work. So what the people at the job are going to do, if they like Frank, they're going to turn around and say, hey, next Friday, we having a little fish fry. We're selling bologna sandwiches. We're going to grill for Frank. Because they're like, okay, we're going to do a little something to help Frank out. But that's not enough. And so what happens as a result of that, Frank is now still got bills coming in, but he's not making any more money. So now the first thing he's going to do is say, I got to pull from my 401k. Now I can tell you, I'm going to do another video about this later this week. The average amount that people have in their 401k is nowhere near for people to be pulling from. But I'm just saying, people do what they feel like they have to do, right? I understand that, right? I'm not knocking it, but I'm telling you what happens. So now they pull from their 401k because they need money right now to keep light, gas, and water on, things of that nature, right? So you pull from your 401k. Let's just say you take $25,000 from your 401k. They're basically taking that money, waiting for short-term disability to kick in. Now, follow me with this. Now, just so y'all know that little sequence of events behind my last name, behind that comma, my master's is in human resource management. So I know what I'm talking about here. Your short-term disability is only going to be 66% of your income. So meaning if you were making $1,000 a month You only gonna get 600 something out, 660. Well, I don't want to use that number now, but either way, you get what I'm saying. $660 a month is what you're gonna get, right? You're only gonna get that for the short-term disability. And so then that's going to get you to the long term, which is 6 months, which is only 80%. Now watch this. Most people are used to working overtime. Most people base their budgets off of them working 10 hours or 20 hours of overtime every 2 weeks. So watch this. You've now gone from making not just your annual income plus the overtime income to now getting 66% of your regular income, only up to 80%. So what happens is now, guess what you got to do? You got to go back to your 401k and take some more money out. And realistically, some folk ain't got it like that. Some folk, once you take that $25,000 out, if you got that amount, bro, your next pool ain't going to be $25,000. And so now comes the point where you're looking like, I got to sell my car. I got to sell my house. And don't get me started with the fact that if it's your wife, man, now she got to pick up extra shifts, but she got to take off too because she got to go be with you, things of this nature. It gets terrible. This is what's happening to families all across this country every single day because they won't take the time to go through this dime model. That's the whole thing about it. All I'm saying to you, and I know y'all are, you trying to sell them some insurance. No, friend. I'm trying to give you some assurance that if life happens, one thing you won't have to worry about is money. You won't have to try to figure that out. What would it look like that if, God forbid, you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, and you worried, how am I going to pay for this? And all of a sudden, the insurance company calls and say, hey, don't worry about it, Mr. Sir, Miss Ma'am. You got a check of $500,000 coming your way. Just think about that. You ain't, I ain't got to go to my 401k. I ain't got to do this. I ain't got to sell the rims off my car. I ain't got to pawn my Jordans. Come on, man. That's happening out there. We ain't got to do no GoFundMe. We ain't got to do no fish fries. None of that. That goes away. You now get to recover in dignity. That's the importance of life insurance. And so as we're rounding out of Financial Literacy Month, here's what I want you to understand. We don't need necessarily financial literacy. We know what to do. What we need is financial activity. We need people to start moving. We need people to start doing what they know to do. We don't need people to just keep learning and never putting what they learn into practice. And so, folks, that's what I wanted to share with y'all tonight, right? I get a little passionate about this because I care about families. I'm sick and tired of seeing families that have worked to build, families that have worked to build legacies, men that have worked to build houses that they could be proud of. Again, men who might have come from broken homes. You get out here, you're building, you're doing these things so that you can sit back and make sure that your contribution to this world is appreciated and is not because of an illness that you couldn't control. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing families decimated because of illnesses. I'm sick of it. I am beyond tired of it. And it keeps happening because not that we don't have financial literacy, we don't have financial activity. And so with that being said, folks, that's my time on tonight. I just really wanted to come to y'all and let y'all know we care. I sincerely care. I care about your family because you're a part of this global community. I want to see that people are taken care of. I'm sick and tired of seeing people have to file bankruptcy because we didn't make a decision. And the thing about me, if you know anything about me, I love you enough to make sure you're not comfortable. No. Not in not knowing. If you're going to do it, again, you'll do it, but you'll never be able to say, oh, I wish somebody would have told me. I wish somebody would have grabbed me by the scruff of my neck and said, hey, this, that, and the third. Well, guess what? This is me. Come on here. I'm getting on you right now. Yeah, you see me. I'm on you. I'm telling you, you need to take care of your family. You need life insurance that has living benefits that gives you and covers critical, chronic, and terminal illnesses and injuries. You need to have that. And if your life insurance policy doesn't have that, I want to talk to you. Again, I do. I want to talk to you because what we're going to talk about is what your dime model is. That's what we're going to talk about. And if you can say $25,000 worth of life insurance is good, go ahead. If after we sit down and go through this, and I say, is this how you want to make sure that your family's taken care of? Hey, man, like I told you, I've done my part. I will go and my heart will hurt for you, but I promise you I ain't giving to you GoFundMe. I'm not. Oh, no, I'm not giving to your GoFundMe because I can't afford to take care of you. But if you'll allow me, I'll make sure that your family's taken care of. So what I look like giving to your GoFundMe when I told you how to take care of? That's it. That's the essence of the dime. Remember, we don't need financial literacy. We need also financial activity. So either way, that's my time, y'all. Rod Hickman, Generational Wealth Builders, where poverty ends with us. Listen, it's always a pleasure to come to y'all. I love this opportunity to be able to share with y'all. Look, we're in the Clarksville, Tennessee area now. We actually have an office here. We're here at the press. It's also known as the mail room. Y'all, let me show y'all. I'm so proud of where we are. Thank God for us being here. But yeah, y'all, look, this is where our office is right here. We out here in these mean streets on them. Yeah. Right, this is our office, y'all. It's cold, man. Look at here. Look at where our office is. We right here, right here. And so again, we're here to help out. We're here to make sure that people understand the value. Again, the exact same services that we gave when we were in the Memphis and Covington area, we're doing while we're here. So we love you all. Until we meet again on next time, remember, listen, knowledge is not power until it's applied. You can have an 18-wheeler truck that's gassed up and ready to go, but if you never apply the clutch and put it in gear, you're not going to go anywhere. And that's the same thing that's going to happen with this information. If you never put any activity to it, it's not going to go anywhere. So until we meet together again on next time, y'all stay blessed and let's get it out here.